quick working session on how you can use Hospitable and for offering some of those upsells for yourself. And for those who have newly joined, I'll just quickly cover this. My name is Chris. I'm on the sales team. I help a lot of our customers, our newer customers, get that excitement about Hospitable, show them how we can help. And as mentioned before, I'm a host. I've been doing short-term rentals for over 5 years now, started in the multifamily space, and been a Hospitable customer since day one. And so well before I joined the team, I managed property remotely in Clearwater, Florida, and I live in here in New York City now. Hospitable's been huge for that. So before we get into it, I wanted to just take a step back and just look at, what is an upsell? And I want to kind of do a little bit of a mindset shift from what you might be used to as considering what an upsell is. And it'll help you offer upsells the right way and actually help improve the guest experience. So what you tend to see is, or what you think of, or if you haven't heard of an upsell, it can be thought of as an add-on service or amenity offered to guests for an additional fee designed to enhance their stay and boost host income. So nothing special, just something that can be added on and you can make money off of it. And I think that's pretty limiting, and there's a lot more that kind of needs to be looked at a little bit differently. So the slight mindset shift with that. So I like to think about it like this. So delightful, in the moment, convenience or experience that guests didn't expect but instantly value because they would have been hard or impossible to access on their own during their stay. Now, the key part of that is didn't expect. So when you offer something that they didn't expect either to have or have to pay for, or that they didn't expect that you're going to be able to offer, that's where it really changes the experience. Your reviews reflect the excitement. It creates an experience from them. So the two different pieces are amenity you offer for free and what you can offer as an upsell. So I'll kind of dive into that a little bit later, how to have that fine balance, but really kind of making sure you nail that. And that's what really has an impact and what will allow you to do upsells the right way, make more money from them, while also still improving your guest experience and improving your reviews. So why upsells? Why are they so important? I already touched on this a little bit, but the obvious is that they're going to help you make more revenue, and it's important. It's impactful revenue, and I'll show a little bit more about financials in a moment. But you earn more more revenue per guest, and it'll get you more nights booked too if they know that you offer some of those experiences. Now, on the other side, when done right and the right upsells are offered, it can also increase the guest satisfaction and therefore your reviews. And it really creates kind of that premium experience. I talked about the experience a lot because it's not just the stay. When you offer these, take that to the next level for them. So I mentioned before the difference between the amenities you offer for free to provide a good experience, but then also the upsell amenities. And this is a perfect example of kind of that balance and why it was so impactful for this guest stay. So this is a guest that stayed at my property a little over a year and a half ago. And so Stephanie's my partner here. We work on the property together. So Christopher and Stephanie went above and beyond with their hospitality. It was our daughter's 3rd birthday, and they provided birthday decorations, had them all hung up when we arrived. Our daughter was thrilled to see the happy birthday banner on the door and throughout, and decor throughout. House is very clean. Being able to access the garage was a big part. Plenty of coffee for our whole trip, and they were very responsive. So what they didn't say in the review was that the birthday decorations were an upsell I offered. They purchased it for $50, and just the fact that we offered it, they loved. And then that was juxtaposed and in tandem with the coffee we provided. Tons of guests mentioned in our reviews about we offer free coffee. So those two balanced together made for an incredible stay for them. And that upsell, as she mentioned, that wasn't just a nice little thing or that we provided. That is an experience they created, that she created with her daughter, and her daughter will remember forever. So it was cool to see, but that's the impact that it can have, and shown in a review. Now, what's the psychology kind of behind why guests love them? Why is that the case, and how can you position them so that they kind of accomplish that? So it helps their stay, it personalizes their stay. It's not just generic, it's specific to them. And then the surprise factor of it at times for non-booking guests. So like for instance, a birthday decoration, or if the booking guest wants to purchase something in advance, and like a additional pool heat or a golf cart rental. That's can be a surprise for the other guests and offer an even cooler experience. And then saves them time and effort. So a lot of things, we'll walk through some examples or something they could either bring with them or purchase while they're there. But a lot of times it would take them a little extra time. So you're offering them the convenience and saving them the effort of having to go and do it. And then, and it turns, I keep going back to this, but it's an experience. It changes it from a stay to an experience. And they like that added feeling of being in control. They can control their experience from the point of booking. Now, on the revenue side, this actually has a real impact on your business. Our hosts across the board that have turned on and offered upsells, generating some real meaningful upsell revenue. Think about it. One upsell a month at $50, that's $600 per year. And they probably have some operational costs, but nowhere near what you're actually making on it. So very impactful. I myself average about $65 a month. And that's, again, that covers the cost of a lot of things for me, whether it's software or some of my operating costs. It's real money in my pocket as a host. A couple of bars to shoot for and see what's possible. Our top performing host last year took in over $13,000 in revenue from upsells. And so you see what's possible if done right. And then largest upsell was a little over 2,000. So there's all different creative options you can buy, and the sky's the limit for them. So today, luckily, we can make it easy for you to implement those upsells with Hospitable. So I'll start here with offering some top recommendations of what I've done, what other hosts I've seen have done, other suggestions. But then we'll have a quick working session. I'll show you how to add an upsell, when and how to offer it to your guests, how to automate the early check-in, late checkout, which is one of the most common ones, and also show you what the guest portal looks like and what guests are seeing as they go in and purchase the upsell. So here's some suggestions for you. But before we get into the suggestions, I want to first talk about a good mentality to have when you're trying to figure out what should I offer as an upsell. And now I go back to that example of what should I provide for free and what can I add in as an upsell? What are my guests going to expect? Kind of a standard. Now this will differ depending on what market or country you're in. So take this with a grain of salt. But typically what I see is guests are expecting some certain amenities, and then even some ones that they're not expecting but are pretty cheap and easy to add are a good candidate for not adding as an upsell, and make those upsell experiences even better. So things like toilet paper, basic toiletries like shampoo or conditioner, hand soap. Guests are expecting those things, and when they have to pay for it, it kind of leads to a little bit more of a negative experience. They don't love to do that. Now it's your call, but coffee and tea we tend to find now more so in Airbnbs and short-term rentals are offered as a free amenity, whether it's K-cups, coffee grounds, espresso. I'd recommend adding that as a free amenity. And when I've done that, almost most of my guests reference the coffee that we provide per stay. Now, this is different from offering like a premium coffee package that you offer, all these different types of coffee. That would be a good candidate for an upsell. But your standard coffee, it's a good idea to kind of keep that as an amenity you offer for free. Linens, towels fall into that boat. Wi-Fi, that's something that guests typically, most markets are expecting that's included when they're staying with you. And then the barbecue grill, if you have one of those, I recommend providing the propane and or charcoal, depending on the grill it is, because they see it in there in your listing. They want to know they're going to be able to use it without having to go through a hassle of paying for it. Now, these are a little trick. I offer some small little welcome items, so not a full welcome package. So my property is in Florida. I'm in a warm market. We have a pool, and I offer a little travel sunscreen and aloe upon their check-in, and a couple water bottles. So instantly they have something that's already a free amenity, starts their stay off right, and that's separate from what I'm offering for upsells. And if you have a washer and dryer, another example, it's good to offer that, and detergent for the guests too. Some of the most common ones we see, early check-in and late checkout, you're able to offer. This is on what you should offer as an upsell. Guests have loved it. I've offered it for a while now. I haven't had a single guest ask me or complain or have an issue or say no once I offer once the early check-in and late checkout's offered. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. But guests love that option of being able to check in early or late. You can also offer an extra day at the end or beginning of their stay. You sometimes have those awkward orphan gap nights where you don't really want a booking for 1 or 2 nights, and it's good to offer an extra stay for your guests at a discount and make a little bit more revenue instead of having your property sit vacant, and you don't have to pay for an additional clean because the guests are already there. Now, this one is really, really cool and very easy addition and impactful for you guys as hosts. We recently, a few weeks back, launched trip insurance within the platform. Now, prior, Airbnb had an option. You could go kind of separately to another provider, but now it's offered within the platform as an upsell. So available to all our US upsell hosts, and it's automatically now it's turned on in your guest portal. It's built to protect your guests from trip cancellations, medical issues, or baggage concerns, and it's really it helps, hands off for the hosts. I'll show you a way. All you got to do is you got to put a link to your guest portal and sell it, and the rental guardian Hospitable deals with the rest. And the best part about it, hosts can earn a commission on every policy sold, which is unique in the industry. So far, you're going to see one of the largest commissions we saw, about $190 US, and that was the commission from a booking from a travel insurance, trip insurance that was purchased. So you can automate it, and that's just ancillary revenue that you can take in on a monthly basis. So I'll show you a couple of ways how to really pitch that to guests here in a moment. Now, what we love to do is we've done this at our live master classes in different cities we've been around to, but I really would love for you guys to, in the chat, if you haven't already, drop in what upsells you guys offer, what creative upsells, what's working, what's not working. This is how we get most of our ideas from our hosts, and we've heard about some really cool ones. So hopefully at the end, we'll be able to revisit some of the really cool creative ones before we get to questions. So some ideas in upsells we've seen. We've actually, so welcome baskets is a common one with different like local items from the area. Popcorn movie packages is one that I offer. You offer some popcorn, some candy, and then kind of more extravagant toiletry packages, more premium kind of items, whether it's bubble baths or depending on how nice of a kind of bathroom and bath situation you have at the property. Flowers is always an easy one and nice to add. I offer anniversary and birthday decorations, and that one's been a hit. Whether it's an anniversary or birthday, we decorate the home similar to what you see here, but we do go a little bit more all out. Our cleaning team is loves to do it too, and be able to set it up for those that happen to have birthdays. Great surprise factor, like I mentioned earlier. Baby equipment, firewood. Sometimes people like to provide the firewood if they have a fire pit, but if you're not comfortable in providing that as an upsell, you can always provide it and then provide additional firewood as an upsell for an additional cost. S'mores kits, a good creative option for those with fire pits. And then some other homemade local items, whether you have a food group or product that's well known for the area. We had a really cool one of our events in Las Vegas. The host was from Puerto Rico and offered coquito, which is a common and unique drink to Puerto Rico, and his family made it, and they offered it to guests upon their stay. So a little local taste of the area and something that the guests loved. You can offer pet welcome kits, offer little dog treats, little things, even a little dog toy, if you're pet friendly, get their stay started. And then like spa kits, I made a little bit similar to what I mentioned before, kind of next level outside of just that typical kind of body wash. That's more on the product side. And then kind of look at some service upsell ideas. Pool heat is a common one we see. You have a couple options there. A lot of hosts in my market are offering pool heat as an included factor, but as an included amenity, but they leave it to a lower temperature. It's not quite warm enough. It's an expensive amenity to provide. What we do is we offer it like a little bit higher than standard temperature, about 79, 80 degrees, but we offer additional pool heat as an upsell. So if they want to increase the temperature a little bit, we didn't do that until we had a number of guests asking us for it and told us that, hey, we'd be willing to pay for it. And that's when we added as an additional upsell. People love it. And you'll find a lot of upsell. That's how we got started with a lot of upsells, is people let us know they're willing to pay for it before they actually before we actually offer it to them. Private chef is common. You can either have a relationship with someone in the area, parking, additional parking, if that's something that's offered. Mid-stay cleans is a good one, where if you have a longer stay, or if someone just, wants to, is having guests over and wants to go above and beyond on the property. Golf cart rentals, bike rentals, airport transfers, and then luggage storage solutions before and after the stay. So if a guest gets there early in the morning and you have another stay, you offer some options for luggage storage. That's typically really convenient, and hosts love that as well. So I'm going to show you now how that works in Hospitable, and how you can easily kind of make your upsell. You can add them and then kind of provide them to guests. You see, there we go. You can see it there. Awesome. So this is my account, and I'll show you some of the upsells we have added. So first things first, we want to add an upsell. How do we do that? So we're going to go to the guest experience section, Hospitable. There's the upsell section. Many of you may have just it's kind of hidden here, so you may not have seen it before. Has a little new tag on it. And if you haven't added an upsell yet, you'll see that a lot of these, we offer some template examples for you that you can turn on. So we have already added the early check-in, late checkout. This is the new one, the trip insurance that's turned on, and some others here as the extra day and movie package as an example. So I'll show you some of them, and I'll show you how to add a new one. So for the early check-in, this is what you're going to be taken to. You have some options for customization. Now what you're editing here is what guests are going to see in your guest portal when an upsell is offered. So once this is turned on and added and turned on, they'll be able to see it in your guest portal. They're going to be able to purchase the upsell depending on the timing you set. I'll show you how to do that. So this one's, of course, an early check-in. You have the option of adding a photo here as well. Big recommendation I make is definitely add a photo and try to pitch it here to them. Don't just leave that blank. So I say start your stay on your schedule with early check-in, giving you extra time to unwind and get settled. And we're pitching it to them. We're trying to get them, want them to buy it. You have different options of offering 1, 2, 3, or 4 hours of an early check-in. You can turn one of those on or off if you only want to offer one of those, or some or all. You can see here, this is what I charge for early check-in. It's $20 for 1 hour, $35, $50 for 3 hours, and then $65 for 4 hours. Now we've tested that over time. My property's a little bit higher price point, so I kind of think about it from a percentage basis. We've never had a single guest that's purchased it or asked about it have any issues with it. They've always been excited that we offer it. If you're hesitant to get started, I would recommend start with a lower early check-in time and see how, start with a lower price and see how it goes over with your guests. So 1 hour before, start at 10 and maybe 15, 20, 25, see how it works. But you can totally feel comfortable with charging that for an early check-in. Now, you have some customization options here for the upsell. So for early check-in, you can require approval, or you can have it automatically accepted. For your direct bookings, it can be purchased. You have the option of allowing it to be purchased during the checkout process or not. And then once purchased, you have the option of blocking the day before. So if an early check-in is purchased, you can automatically block that day before, so it doesn't affect your check-in time, and your cleaners will have enough time so in case the last booking were to occur, there wouldn't be any issues there. Now this is important too, so you have full flexibility of when this upsell is going to be offered to your guest. So for mine, so early check-in for me is only going to show up in my guest portal 14 days before check-in and 18 hours between that guest. So between 14 days and 8 hours before check-in time. Reason why I select 14 is within the 14 window, I'm a lot less likely to actually get a booking. So I don't want the day to be blocked off before then if someone would book an early check-in. And on this side, this is more for my cleaning team. I want to make sure that they have enough time to be notified in case there's something that they need to do before the check-in. So that's fully customizable and up to your operations, what works for you. It gives you an option there of what to provide. And you can make sure it's selected for the proper properties. So You want to make sure that's turned on, and that'll show up in your guest portal if it falls within that window for that guest. You can do the same thing for late checkouts. Pitch it here, tell them what it is, add a checkout. I think we default to that for you. You have the same option of an hour after, 2 hours after. I offer it for the same price. You require approval. And the same thing I offer here, 14 days before checkout time is when it's available for purchase, and it'll stop for me. I like to cut that off the night before checkout, just because usually my cleaning team comes right at checkout time. I want to give them enough of a heads up beforehand. So fully customizable there. Now, next, I'm going to show you the trip insurance. There's not much to really see here. This is automatically turned on for you and created in the back end. So when the guest goes to your guest portal and it's eligible for purchase, they can go right in and purchase it. A couple other upsells I'll show you here. If you wanted to create a new upsell, you can add the product, add the upsell here. You can go ahead. There's a couple options. There's early check-in, late checkout, trip insurance. Or if you want to add a more creative option like pool heat or a spa package or s'mores kit, you can add that here. You can select from the different templates. We'll choose the welcome basket, and we're going to offer here a charcuterie board. I'm not even sure if I'm spelling that correctly. And then we have the option of per night or a fixed price. So this one we're going to offer a fixed price. And you'll see here, it already even comes up. So it gives you a template here. You can customize that and again, pitch it, make it sound really great, make it sound really nice. I'm going to offer this for $30 for my team's time and curating the items. And there's still a window of profit there for me. Again, I can edit the timing. I can also allow multiple quantities. So if I wanted to be able to offer 2 of them to my guests, I can do that there. I can add a note. So if I want them to, if I give them ability to request different items, I can put that in there to have them let me know that. So that's an option there as well. You can go ahead and it'll automatically save and we turn it on. I'll show you a couple others here. That slightly different configuration for my pool heating. This one's on a per night basis. So for additional heat, I charge $20 per night. And you can see here I pitch it. That's such an important piece of it. If you're offering it, pitch it to the guest. Tell them why it's going to enhance their experience. Do you like an even warmer swimming experience? I know we do. We already set the pool temperature at 80 degrees, which is warm for the area. If you'd like that temperature to be warmer, let us know. You can purchase for a small nightly fee. Got that picture in there as well. So that was a lot. So now we got upsells. We've got our upsells. We've turned them on. How do guests see and how can we send the guest portal where the upsells are to our guests? So we're going to go over to our guest experience. We're going to add it into our messaging. So our messaging rules, these are my messaging rules. I'm going to start with my new reservation message. So guests get this 3 days. The guests get this upon booking my property. Give them the overall information about the property and the stay. And this is where I pitch the travel insurance. So I say, as a travel tip, we always recommend purchasing trip insurance in case you're unable to make it for various reasons, such as flight cancellations. Now we're in an area where hurricanes happen. I really emphasize it for hurricane season. They typically offer good prices. So take a look at it. There are a few different travel insurance options you can purchase in our guest portal here. That is going to link them to your guest portal where they can go ahead and purchase. And I also mentioned there, we offer other unique trip experiences like birthday and anniversary decorations. Purchase for a small fee before your stay. So I'm pitching it to them. They'll be able to go right into there as they're excited about the new booking and be able to do that from the guest portal. So now think about it. You've created the upsell. You've automated it into your messaging. And so for instance, for a trip, someone is looking for trip insurance and purchases it. You don't have to lift a finger for any of it. They go directly through the Rent-A-Guardian. So there's a lot that you're able to automate and offer just from right there. Now, I'm going to show you here how to add early check-in and late checkout. This one has a few extra steps involved with it, but it's worthwhile so you can automate it and make a little bit more per stay. So we're going to go back to guest experience. Now, you remember we set up the upsell already here in our upsells, so they're turned on, and they're only offered and shown in the upsell in the guest portal within the certain window we deemed. Now we're going to go back and we're going to create custom codes for each of these, for an early check-in and late checkout. Now, for those of you who haven't used custom codes before, those are conditional snippets that will be added into your messaging only if a certain condition is met. So for instance, offering an early check-in, this little snippet, I'll show you in a second, only is included in my messaging if the night before check-in is available. So it's conditional. So this is what I have here. So the message, if that night is available before, I add in, we happen to have a day before your check-in still available. Would you like to purchase an early check-in for a small fee? If so, you can go ahead and do that right here. We link to the guest portal, and you can change that conditioning of that format here. Night before check-in is available. And I'll show you how you can add that into your messaging. We also want to do that for a late checkout. So same thing, but the condition is slightly different. The night after checkout is available. And if that's the case, this message will be included in our automated message. So we happen to have the night after checkout available. Would you like to purchase a checkout small fee? Links to the guest portal right there. If you don't have those set up already, you hit the little add new button in your custom code section. You can type the name of your custom code and type in your message here, and you'll want to link to, we've already added in, so I won't add another one. But you want to link here to your guest portal, and that'll link it here. And this is where you add the condition. So you can add a condition. This one's at the bottom. The night for offering early check-in, the night before check-in is available. You can go ahead and create that right there. It's going to create a new custom code for you. Now, what are we going to do with those custom codes? So you have a couple options, but the one I would recommend is adding it to your pre-arrival and pre-checkout messages if you have those already. And if you don't, I would recommend creating those to send to your guests. So I have a check-in instructions message that sends 3 days before the check-in. And so a lot of this is information about their stay. I link to the guidebook. And then I mention information about the check-in day and the check-in time. So they're probably thinking, what time do I get there? And this is usually where they're prompted to ask me if they have an early check-in available. Now, once I link here to the custom code that I just built out, offer early check-in, that is going to include, if that night before their stay is available, it's going to offer it. It's going to include that little snippet message and link to the guest portal here if we have it. So it'll automatically be included. You can now offer early check-in and the message offered to guests without having to do anything. It's going to be automated for you. Now, the same thing is the case for the checkout instructions. I have a checkout instructions message. I send this the afternoon before checkout, and I let them know the checkout time is at 11 a.m. And unless we mutually agreed otherwise. Now, again, if we have the day after available, this custom code, this little snippet is going to offer our late checkout inside the message and is given the link to purchase it. Now it's included, it's automated, they have the information they need and they can purchase it. Now, the next part is, now what are the guests seeing? So I'm going to switch over here to the guest portal. So when a guest clicks the link on any of those messages, this is where they're going to be taken to. So for instance, this is a guest that is checking in with me for tomorrow. It has the first thing they'll need to do is put their last names in. It'll offer them to upgrade their stay. This is where they're going to click for their upsells. These are all the upsells I'm offering. And because it's still within the window, an early check-in is available, late checkout. So you can see the picture shows up, the description. And this is why I say pitch it, because they're going to click it. Pitch what you have available for them. So you can add to cart, the different timelines, what you charge. They can go through and purchase it directly through here. And travel insurance isn't showing up here because the stay is for tomorrow, so it's outside the window. But this is exactly where they'd see trip insurance as well. I offer birthday decorations. You saw a little picture here of one that we did. So there's a couple different options, and you can see you can purchase it right from here. All right. So that was a lot. I know that was a lot. So just a quick review. We're going to take a step back. And so what did we kind of just walk through? So we showed you create and turn on your upsells. That's number one. Then you're going to take your upsells and the link to the guest portal. You're going to add that short code of the guest portal to your messaging. Step 1 and 2. And then for early and late checkout, create a custom code for each, offering that upsell, that little snippet. Create those custom codes, and then add those custom codes to your check-in and checkout messages. Once you have that, you've automated a majority of the upsell side of things. So one of the important things, like I mentioned, as you're going through this, make sure not to forget. You've gone through all the work of setting this up. Your team and operations, we'll talk about in a moment, have the ability to offer it. Make sure you pitch it. Don't miss this part. A couple ways we talked about, make sure it's in your messaging. So the new reservation message, check-in message, even mid-stay, if you have some upsells that they can purchase on property, and then the checkout message. And now you can even, if guests ask a question, maybe they missed your guest portal link. If guests ask a question about your upsell or a particular item, do you offer early check-in? You can suggest with AI, the suggest with AI button that I know that Ethan talked about a little while ago. It's going to offer that to him. Same thing with Inbox with AI. It's going to automatically offer that upsell to him and take him to, if it's available, it will be able to detect that. Add photos, add good photos and descriptions. So messaging like, if you'd like to elevate, customize your stay, don't just put a little, don't leave it blank or just a small little message about what it is. Pitch it to them. Offer it in your digital guidebooks if you have them. Put it as many places as you can, and that guests will kind of see it and click into. This one was a cool one. Another host had the idea of is you can put a little strategic. Now, if you offer an upsell during their stay, put little strategic QR codes and frame them throughout the house. So, for instance, I have one that's outside and by our pool. It's a frame QR code that says additional pool heat, scan here, and they can scan the QR code and takes them to where they need to go, and they can purchase it from the platform. So you can do the same thing in the kitchen and other areas of the property. It's definitely kind of a cool way to get them over to the upsell. Now, on the operational tips, what I would recommend doing. So the last little portion of this is when an upsell is purchased, you're going to get a push notification, and it's also going to go to the inbox for that guest itself. Now, if you have to approve or deny it, you'll be able to do it from there. But I would recommend creating a task and then a task notification command that follows that for your cleaning team, so they can be apprised of that info. And then treat it like those physical upsells, so like product-based things, whether it's birthday decorations, welcome baskets. Treat it like your inventory. Treat it like the toilet paper or towels. Have your turnover team check to make sure throughout your stay, throughout when they're turning over the property, do you have enough inventory for the next guest? So it makes it easy. When that is purchased, your turnover team will be able to just set that up between the stays without having to do anything extra. And some of them, obviously, it'll be a little bit more challenging, but some you can handle that way for sure. Make sure your team's trained on the process. It's always important. There are some remote access devices you can use, like for pool heat. There are some remote connections where you'll be able to change it yourself instead of, or automate it without having the need to involve your team. And this one was a really cool idea another host gave me a while back, where you can offer individual lockable storage units within your property, and those that upsells you want them to purchase on site. So while they're there, excited, and you can show them what you offer, they can go in, and if they purchase it, you can give them the lock code for that individual storage unit, and they can go in and open it, and they can access the upsell right there. Kind of cool, like cool vending machine way to do it, and it's fun for the guests as well. So that was a lot of different information about upsells, but what I want you to walk away with, a similar theme to my last conversation, working session, was that add one upsell. That's it today. Don't worry about adding all four. Add one. Start with trip insurance. Add that in and add the guest portal link into your messaging. Start with one and then kind of get the feel for it, work with your team on the process. And then that's the point where you can kind of look at adding your second or third. But just start with one and see that where that takes you. Hugely impactful. And I'm telling you, it will quickly increase your guest satisfaction and guest reviews. Now, if we do offer upsells for our guests, our hosts on the host plan, professional plan, and mogul. But if you are on the legacy plan, feel free to book a call with our customer success team. They can walk you through the setup of it and show you kind of the value in setting that up. As that's not offered for that plan, but they'll help you kind of show you the value. And that's about it. So I know I think we have a little bit of time for questions. And if there's any, Miles, I'm not sure if you happen to see or have the ability to add in some of the cool upsells if anyone dropped theirs in there during the chat.
We had a bunch, and wow, we've had a lot of conversation and questions in the chat. So I'll try and scroll back and see some of them. We did have some good ideas earlier. Some ideas around musicians. It's quite cool. Yeah, full karaoke experience with pro lighting, speakers, stage. Jen's a musician, so has all the gear already. It's kind of cool.
Wow, I love that one. So that's like exactly in line with the experiences we're talking about. That's not something you'd expect at a property. That one's super cool.
Obviously, early check-ins and late checkouts. Common. A premier baking package. Pretty cool. Nice.
Ooh, and so that kind of finds out it's a lot of you offer the baking or cooking kind of utensils and supplies, but like that takes it to the next level of what they're not expecting. So that's a really cool one too.
Yes, a couple more bourbon gift basket. I like that. I definitely enjoy that.
That's perfect for the mountains.
Nice. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think we'll try and take a couple of questions if you don't mind, Chris.
Sure.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll try and get through a few of these, and I'm going to try and group them together. Okay, so clarification on how to do an upsell for an extra day specifically.
Yeah, it's a good. So here's what I do for an extra stay. Let me share my screen really quick. I didn't walk through that one because I knew I was already offering a lot, but what you can do is pull back in here. So we're going to go quickly back to the guest experience. I'm going to go to Upsells. We offer that as a template. You can actually, that's one that they can purchase if the day before or after is available. I do this a little bit differently though. I do offer, you can create a custom code that if the day before is available, I don't have this one. Oh, here it is. Extra night after available. So you can create a custom code. Similar thing, night after checkout is available. You can offer that to them. Night after your stay is currently available. If you'd like to extend your stay, I'd love to offer you an additional night at a 20% discount. Now, I don't link to the guest, and this is up to your I don't link to the guest portal here. The reason why is because I like to kind of gauge on the interest and how much of a discount I can actually offer them. I'd love to give them at full price, but a lot of won't necessarily go for it unless there's a certain discount added. So that'll start a conversation more so. And just like the early checkout, early check-in, late checkout, I'm going to take that custom code and you can add that to either your new reservation message here, like I did for the guest portal, or you can also add that to your check-in and checkout messages, like I did for the early check-in. So you can put that either below it and kind of make it blend nicely, but that'll allow for both options to be offered if available.
Cool, nice. And then you've obviously touched on this a bit, but Elaine asked, do you tell guests in the message right after booking that upsells can be purchased later? When are you kind of dropping that in?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So the first mention of upsells is upon that new reservation message. So once they get that new reservation message, as soon as they book, that's where I offer I really pitch the trip insurance because that's the biggest number one sale. But I added in there to a little line to the guest portal, and then a little line that they can purchase other upsells as well. So they have that info in there. I mentioned it to them immediately, and they'll also see it when they click on that guest portal, even if they're just looking for trip insurance. So they'll be taken over to the Upsells and have the ability to purchase whatever is offered during that time window. But the earlier, the better.
Cool, that makes sense. I can't see this message now to bring up. Oh, there we go. And so clarity on early check-in and late checkout, and then early says answer this in the chat. But do the digital locks automatically get updated if you have that set up?
Great question. Yes. So automatically, if early check-in is approved, it will automatically change your check-in time to. So let's say it was originally 4 p.m. The check-in was bought 1 hour early. Changes it to 3 p.m. Your check-in time under the property details within Hospitable will automatically change by an hour, and with that, it will automatically change the time that the lock code, the smart locks have access, their property has access to. So everything's automatically done. And a little tip for you, and this is what I do for mine. I automate notification to my cleaning team that a check-in time was changed as well. So they're also notified upon changing.
Nice, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, there was some questions around liability. So just kind of interested if you do have any insurance. I don't know if you're actually offering services, I guess, where sorry, this is the wrong question I brought. Sorry, there's a question around liability insurance, I guess. So if you're doing something around like having chefs in the home, are you taking out extra insurance? Are you seeing hosts do that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Another good question. So what I do, so I offer I have my own, similar to I think Tony mentioned earlier, Safely insurance. But what I also do, I have a rental agreement that I'll send to my guests and automate that, has information in there that I'm not held liable for that. So it's an added protection for myself. But this is actually an exact reason why you should offer the upsell of, like, let's say a private chef, or offer it yourself. Airbnb recently launched experiences about maybe a year and a half ago. And that gives your guests to pick anyone they want. And so you're in a much better position if you actually vet the person or the private chef and you know them, you have a relationship with them, and you can trust them. You're in a much better situation, less liability if they're the ones who are actually at your home and cooking versus someone new that you don't know.